Welcome back to SaharaTV. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. Where is the presidential candidate of APC, General Muhammadu Buhari? What is he doing in London? Is he there for medical treatment? Our next guest is the man charged with separating the facts from fiction around the campaign of General Buhari. In continuation of our coverage of the 2015 elections, we are honored to have with us the Director of Media and Publicity of General Muhammadu Buhari's campaign, Mr. Shehu Garba. Mr. Garba, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you, Rudolph. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let me start by asking you, yesterday's newspapers reported that General Muhammadu Buhari traveled to the UK. Why he went to the UK became a subject of speculation. On today's paper, you found yourself fighting back, saying that Buhari was not there for treatment. As a media manager, are you frustrated with the willingness of some Nigerians to suggest that there are ulterior motives behind everything Buhari does?
Well, all of these things that we have seen in the last 24 hours are coming from one man, the governor of Ekiti State, Governor Fayose. Governor Fayose had published Buhari in a coffin, in an editorial published Buhari in a coffin, clearly expressing his death wish for General Buhari. So therefore, all of these things that have come out, saying that it is a vindication and that Buhari was stretched out of Nigeria and rushed for an emergency treatment, it's entire falsehood. And what evidence do we have that suggests that Fayose is a bloody and relentless liar? Pictures don't lie. From yesterday, we had pictures of General Buhari arriving at the immigration in London on his feet. And thereafter, we have had his pictures. He met Prime Minister Blair. After that, before that, he had an interview with the local television station, and they had met Nigerians in the diaspora in the UK. And this afternoon of today, Saturday, had lunch with a distinguished Nigerian, the Ujali of Ijebola, in his London home. So what else do we need to do to prove that General Buhari is hale and hearty and was out there? And for God's sake, London, but besides being, a former metropolitan capital, as a colonial country, as a colonized nation, London is the world's capital for finance, and some would say politics. So for someone who is bound to be elected, almost there, he needs to get the word, especially given anxieties, that surround his own person and all of that. He needs to talk to people all over the world, global institutions, to appreciate that, look, this man is not going to unleash an Armageddon, or he's not going to rock any boat. So that's the whole idea.
Now, you mentioned that he is meeting important people and meeting Nigerians. There's a report that he's going to speak at Chatham House while on this trip. It's the same place that Sambo Dasuki, the National Security Advisor, spoke and first suggested the idea that they should postpone the election. What is Buhari going to say in that place?
No, I am not going to tell you that. We are working out the details as I speak to you now. By tomorrow, Sunday, all of this would be out. It suffices to say that General Buhari will be speaking on Thursday at the Chatham House. He has accepted to be there, and it is important that he will speak on his perspectives of Nigeria's foreign policy when and if he's elected as president.
Now, let's go back to this postponement of the election. Your party and General Buhari, they were against the postponement, but it happened. Now, a lot of independent observers are saying that it slowed down the campaign or the momentum of your campaign. Is that true?
Not exactly, because as it is, of course, it gave us time that we didn't need. And as you said, of course, the whole purpose of the postponement is to hold us down. The PDP had been warned. Every poll they had conducted, companies that they had in the US, in the UK, in Israel, and in Nigeria, they had all returned the same verdict. PDP, you're going to lose this election. So therefore, the trick is hold us down and then see if they can do a catch-up But as you can see, that clearly is not working. So by the time the change, the postponement came, APC had done 34 of the 36 states of the Federation, leaving Borno, Yobe, and FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, where we had hoped to do a national rally. But we have not been idle. Since that time, we have engaged in town hall meetings, and we had also done Borno. I mean, I'm sure you have seen the enormous crowds that had gone to welcome General Buhari in Borno. So we are having left the state of Yobe and the Federal Capital Territory. So we are using the time that is available to us, even if we hadn't wished that this time was made available to us.
Now, let me ask you about the Burano campaign. What happened there? There appear to be some contradictory stories about what happened when he went to Burano. Can you fill us in?
No, as far as we are concerned, there was no incident involving General Buhari and our entire campaign. What happened on the side was that the military said they were transporting weapons into Maiduguri, and that the military truck in which they were doing this broke down. So they hired civilian-type truck, and then they put these weapons on them, and they were moving them into Maiduguri. Now, the civilian JTF, which is the local vigilante, of course became suspicious when they saw weapons being transported in a commercial truck, and they stopped it. And they said there will be no way. Even when soldiers appeared, in their own little truck and said that the civilian JTF must make way, for this truck, the civilian JTF resisted. They said, no, we are accustomed to seeing military trucks ferrying military weapons. This is a civilian truck. And to have their way, the soldiers opened fire and they shot and killed up to 5 of the civilian JTF members. So it was an entirely different incident that had nothing to do with our own campaign.
Now, there are people who are watching the Buhari campaign, and they notice that people like Atiku Abubakar, governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso, that they've not been openly campaigning or supporting Buhari. Is there any internal problems within the APC at that level?
No. There is absolutely nothing like that. For Atiku, I personally know that at the early part of the campaign, he had gone for a medical checkup. It should have been a routine thing, but it took him more time than he thought it would. And eventually he came and joined up and did his own part. Governor Kwankwaso is very active there in Kano. Don't forget that he has a responsibility to deliver his own state, which has an upcoming election that some people say is going to be hotly contested. And beside his zonal responsibility, as a leader in the Northwest Zone. So it is not that every leader of the party must be present at every national rally. No. As much as possible, what they try to do is to ensure that when it is your own zone of birth, they get as many of those leaders as possible so that there could be local identification, with the crowds there. So there's absolutely no division in the APC campaign. It's as united as it has always been.
Okay. Now, you're a veteran journalist, and do you feel that Nigerian masses are being deprived of important knowledge in making their decision due to the inability of your campaign and that of the PDP to agree on a debate of the candidates?
No. Let me say to you that it is never a prerequisite for free and fair election that debate must hold. And General Buhari, for the records, had run 3 times in the past for the presidency of Nigeria, and on each of the 3 occasions, he had presented himself for national debates, at which PDP opted out. So this last time, being the 4th, Mr. Buhari said, look, enough, these guys are not just serious. I want to connect directly with the ordinary Nigerians. I want them to see me, feel my presence, and talk to me person to person. And we opted for town hall meetings. And these town hall meetings have been enormously successful because we've been identifying groups that need to be talked to, and we're engaging them as we go on.
Now, that's very good. You were talking about groups, and here at SaharaTV, we have a lot of viewers who are all over the world, and they want to have an opportunity to chat with General Buhari, ask him questions, and get his feedback. Will you be willing to help us arrange, because we've been sending out messages to have that kind of conversation with Buhari?
Well, I'm being honest with you. This afternoon was the first time I knew that there was a pending request coming from SaharaTV to speak to Mr. Buhari. It is our duty to ensure maximum exposure for our candidate to meet as many Nigerians as he can, as he did earlier this morning in London, talking to Nigerians in the diaspora in the UK. And yes, it is possible that Buhari will be speaking to SaharaTV, and we will work on that.
Okay, that's very good. I'm happy you said that. Now, let me ask you this question. There is this inherent contradiction in the narrative around Buhari's candidacy. And some independent observers are pointing it out. One is that on the one hand, we said that he could deal with the issue of corruption because in the past he did. And then on the other hand, they said that this is a democratic dispensation, that he will not be able to operate the same way he operated as a military ruler. Now, how do you see this contradiction?
Well, let me say to you that the circumstances of his headship of the dominant military is obviously different. The military had encapsulated in one body powers of the state, executive, judicial, and legislative powers, all of it being in the Supreme Military Council. Now, under a democratic dispensation, a multi-party democracy, you're having to deal with the executive as one independent body, the parliament, and of course the judiciary. Each one charged to act as a check and balance on the other. So General Buhari will have to operate within the laws of the country, within the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Would he be able to tackle corruption head-on as he did before? Listen to the man. When he took the ticket, when he accepted the ticket of the APC after the convention in Lagos, he stood there and read a speech in which he said, I am going to tackle corruption, no matter who is involved and no matter what is involved. So he has given his own pledge. I want people to take him for his own words.
Now, I know there was an incident reported recently concerning you and the Nigerian police, that they were monitoring your home in Abuja. How was that resolved? What was the issue? What was going on?
Well, we thank the modern media, the communications media for this, because I think that the siege eventually came to an end when the police realized that the whole world was watching them. This thing was on the web, the Twitter, the Facebook, and all of that had come alive. The moment we realized that the home had been surrounded and, they had brought in the bus. I mean, I had been taken by the Secret Service in the past, and I knew what it is like when they want to do this kind of operation. So they had come in from 3 a.m. and they surrounded the house. Apparently, maybe waiting for orders whether to break into the home, or assuming that I would come out as I have done, maybe going to the mosque for early morning prayers and so on. We made sure that we didn't open our door and they didn't break in fairness to them. However, it was very clear that once it was almost daybreak and the TV stations in the country had begun to broadcast the siege on my home, as I said, the social media was active on all of the issue, then they just decided to pull away from the thing.
Now, we don't have a lot of minutes left, but let's talk about social media. On social media, there are a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding Buhari's candidacy. And I'll give you the chance to address just a few of them because our viewers would like to know what you think about them. Let me start from the first one. There's this theory out there that Nigeria's oil blocks are due for renewal. I had this just yesterday from somebody, that they are due for renewal and that there are those who are interested in returning the oil blocks, that they are the people pushing for Buhari's candidacy. What do you know about that?
I know nothing about that, and I'm telling you that if there was oil money behind the Buharis campaign, Buharis campaign is being funded by Naira and the Kobo. You see the coins with which the poor masses of this country are throwing into his own campaign. If he had oil money behind him, we would have done better countering the nasty things that are being said against our own candidate on television, which is very expensive to do, newspapers, which is very expensive. As I picked you, actually, our main communications platforms are the social media and the radio. We are not so empowered. I wish we had the wealthy people behind us.
Now, let me frame this one this way. Obasanjo, General Obasanjo, the former head of state, said during the visit of Buhari to his home that when he wins, or if he wins, that he should do something about people around him. Now, there's this theory that, in fact, people write and people wrote us and said, when we talk to you, we should ask you, how will Buhari deal with corruption when there are people around him who are seen to be the most corrupt people in Nigeria? How is your campaign handling this?
Well, let me say to you that, one, all of these things are assumptions that people make. I am not aware that there's a conviction around any one of these people that are seen to be around General Buhari. But let's also face facts. Now, this country, as we are now, has reached a point at which everyone is sick and tired of the way we had failed to make progress to realize the full potentials of our own country. I think that that's why the slogan of the party is change. For God's sake, assuming that there are bad people around him, I'm not aware there are any, but assuming that there are, who says that the bad guy of today will not become a good man tomorrow? So this whole endeavor is about change, change and change. So therefore, Nigerians are willing to turn a new life, change their country, and grow it well.
Now, there are also Nigerians who are saying openly that they will go into exile if Buhari should win. How is your campaign dealing with that reality?
No, we urge them to take it easy, stay back in their country. General Buhari has been assuring at every campaign he is not going to be vindictive as a leader. He is going to draw a line. What he says is that I'm going to turn a new page. Ongoing cases in the courts involving corruption, theft, and all of that, I'm not going to stop that. That's what he's saying. However, whoever abuses public trust under me, under my own administration, will not get away with it. So therefore, I think that they should calm themselves down, stay back, and help the country. Of course, if they are willing to give back voluntarily to the country, well and good.
All right, Malam Shehu Garba, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rudolph. I appreciate this opportunity.
I hope you will deliver on having Buhari join us, because a lot of people want to have an opportunity to ask some questions.
I will do my best. I will do my best.
All right. Thank you so much. That has been Malam Shehu Garba, who is the National Publicity Secretary or Publicity Director of the Buhari Campaign. When we come back, we still have a lot of programs for you. We're going to talk to the former Minister of Information, Mr. Labram Maku, who is running for governor, and many others, so stay tuned.